move for no man. No man. No man. No man. No man.
Call it a draw.
No man.
Just a flesh wound.
What
Just a
is
flesh wound.
up,
Just a flesh wound.
mopos? What's up, bitches?
Chris is joining us from spring break in Cancun, Mexico.
He's got a Hawaiian shirt and a toothpick and what is that? Is that like a
necklace?
What do you call that necklace with like a shark tooth? Like a puka? What is
does
it?
It have a shark tooth on it?
It's a beaded. This is actually seeds. From
Yeah,
some,
that looks like acai seeds.
So Chris has what do you call that? The Virgin Mary necklace that all the Guidos have?
I had to show some titties.
Virgin Mary necklace. A rosary? Are you
The rosary.
talking a rosary? Oh, this guy.
Gary, you
He's
got
like,
it. Though.
Yeah,
That's
just
good.
You know, the fucking thing, you pray with it, the beads.
you know the guys wear it at Jersey Shore. You know the guys. You the Roman Catholic rosary bead. Yeah, I know. Yeah, nice.
The fucking beads, you know?
3 Hail Marys and fuck your mother, you know? Something like that.
Sunday fun day, guys. Cheers.
Yeah,
What's
baby.
What's going on, baby?
I just came from a barbecue, so I got a toothpick. I'm trying to get all the meat out of my teeth.
Nice.
Barbecue?
Dude, speaking of which, I don't know how you guys have been doing it. Maybe I'm just being a piece of shit. I'm assuming Frankie hasn't been ever because he lives in the Dominican Republic. I doubt they have dentistry there. But I haven't been to a dentist in like over a year, dude, because like obviously with all the COVID stuff and then like, you know, I've been out here in Puerto Rico. I haven't like found another spot to go. Have any of you been to the dentist since COVID started?
Gary, multiply that by 5 or 6, and that's how long it's been since I've been to the dentist.
Wow. That's
Okay.
crazy, dude. I've consistently gone to the dentist twice a year or more since I was a kid.
Do you guys floss?
Not very much.
Flossing
I feel like
prolongs
once a month.
your dentistry, your like visits to the dentist.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's what, the cleaning is just them like really doing a deep clean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you don't have
I
any
don't know.
problems, I've never had a cavity. Never
Yeah,
had-
I'm blessed with pretty genetically good teeth. Like I don't really get cavities. My family does though. They go to the dentist the same amount as me, and my mom gets cavities all the time. My sister gets them all the time. They say that there's a difference in the acidity in people's saliva that causes a lot of the problems, and a lot of the cavities and stuff has a lot less to do with what people eat and more to do with their genetics,
makes
which
sense.
is pretty surprising.
I thought it had to do like 100% with what you eat.
Well, it's obviously in part, like you can't just like not brush your teeth every day and just eat tons of sugar and not get cavities. But like apparently, like, you know, all things considered, 2 people doing things the same, the cavities are going to be more genetic than, you know, routine based.
Hey, look who's here.
It's a
Di-
pretty good. What
cup.
do you call that again?
A chalice.
I was thinking chalice. Yeah, something like that.
What's that guy's name on there?
The Holy Grail.
I don't know. It looks like something out of like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's fucking Lord.
Oh,
Ray.
like an ent. But for anybody that's listening and not watching, Frankie is holding up I don't know if it's a wine glass or he referred to it as a chalice with a woodland creature on it that looks like a tree spirit or something like that.
I wonder what the
Very
overall
angry.
and whether that's wine or tequila.
I'll tell you what though, it's not water.
Oh, that.
maybe he used his Guido beads to turn the water into wine.
I like this role reversal where we're sober and Frankie's drunk.
Yeah.
This is
Usually
not
that's
normal.
the way
It's definitely not normal. But Chris isn't. You're in fight camp, Chris. So
Yeah,
does
I
that
mean,
mean like you got to taper down, or what does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a drink in a couple weeks at least.
Are you gonna go cold turkey till the fight, or?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't. As soon as I have a reason not to drink, I don't.
So once you're done with fighting, you got to drink because you got a lot of reasons to drink.
Right.
It's like not having a fight is my main reason to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I'm gonna do. I was just talking to somebody about that earlier. Like, I'm basically just gonna be like a drunk recluse writer. I'm just gonna live somewhere and just be drunk all the time and write.
Nice.
Gary, is that you as well?
I'll say this. I think that like fighting and, competing and all that sort of thing, it makes the event of like going out and, celebrating, having like a party, going and drinking, and it's so much more fruitful. Like it's so much more exciting. Like if I just like go out drinking or go to a club like multiple times and I have no real reason to be there and it's just like to hang out, like I get bored of that shit super easy. Like I just don't.
Same.
I don't want to go. I'd like rather do literally anything, play video games, watch tape, like whatever. But like, if it's post-fight celebration stuff, or, I had just won something for like, next few weeks after that, like it feels like, hey man, I earned that celebration. So it feels a little bit better,
That's not what I was kind of talking about, because one thing is to like throw down and get stanky nasty, but the other thing is to like have like a couple of beers, maybe 1 or 2 beers, maybe 1 beer. Like, what's your philosophy?
Asking like what I do prior to fights?
Like before, yeah. Like, what's your philosophy?
Yeah.
Like, do you go cold turkey, like whatever Chris is doing, or?
Not necessarily. I don't mind drinking. I'm just not gonna. Certainly, like the few days before the fight, week before the fight, that sort of thing. I'm definitely not gonna get like drunk. You know, I'd still consider though, even fight week, having 1 or 2 drinks on a particular day, especially because a lot of times, if I'm competing in Asia or fighting in Asia, in which case, a lot of the countries that I go to, weed is not only illegal, but it is like it's like a severely punishable offense, like possibly by death or beating, depending upon what country you're in. So, just like 1 or 2 drinks to help you fall asleep, especially when you have all the anxiety and nerves of fighting, I don't mind, and I don't really feel like something like that negatively impacts your performance. I could see getting trashed, the nights before your fight or something. Getting like nothing to the point where I would ever feel hungover the following day.
Yeah, I mean, I just meant like maybe having 1 or 2.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I definitely drink less leading up to fights though.
I kind of wait, and then like wine I'll have until it affects my sleep. It doesn't take much to affect my sleep. Like I sleep so good if I don't drink, or drink at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it makes a big difference to me. And also hydration. I'm down in South Florida,
Sure.
like using so much.
It's really
here.
hot, humid.
Yeah.
Dude, in Puerto Rico, it's like I usually don't drink during workouts, but like out here, I've been pounding water and like Pedialyte and all kinds of stuff because it's just I lose so much water training.
Dude, I'm sure you guys have similar weather than we do here.
Yeah, well, and the
it's
gym
like
that I'm
very
working out in
humid.
has
It's
no
like
AC.
you sweat like a motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
All probably pretty similar, honestly. South
You know
Florida.
what was interesting? I was watching the UFC like behind the scenes. I forget the name of the show, but The Embedded. And I saw that Wonder Boy, his dad was like talking about something about some drinks or something like that. And he told his dad, like, I had two or three glasses of wine and I'm feeling nice or some shit like that. And it was like interesting because I would have never thought that Wonder Boy, like the week of the fight, had any alcohol. But I see that he's not like a stickler for any of that because he kind of seems like someone that would be a stickler for like, not drinking or like
religious, too.
like a really goody dude, right?
Mhm.
He's also like, isn't he from the South though?
Yeah.
So that adds a whole different element to it. There's a lot of religious goody two shoes people from the South that still drink heavily. That's like it's definitely a Southern culture kind of thing in America.
Good point.
Yeah.
I worked one of it was a Bellator kickboxing show, and it was actually cool when they did the kickboxing and the MMA together. Mikey Chandler fought that, and he knocked out Pitbull, Patricky rather, or the other one of those guys. But and then Joe Schilling fought on the card too, and it was the night before the fight after the weigh-in. He's at the bar slugging Coronas the night before the fight. Look at this fucking guy. Like I mean, he had at minimum 2, could have been 3 or 4. Not really. I wasn't eyeing him that much, but I was like, wow, this guy's night before the fight drinking Coronas.
The important
Dude,
question was he drinking them out of people's shoes?
No, not.
That is so fucking disgusting.
Yeah, what is that fucking new thing? What is that about?
No, it's an Australian thing or like a New Zealand thing.
Yeah, it's a
The
New Zealand
shoey?
thing.
The shoey?
They can fucking keep that. Don't bring that shit here. That's gross.
And no, you know what's even grosser? That
Not
so
much.
he pours the beer in someone else's shoe and then he spits in it.
Who is he? Who is this?
Tai Tuivasa, the Tai Tuivasa dude.
Is
He's
that
like some like Samoan, the guy that knocked out Greg Hardy.
Party? Yeah.
He's fucking gross as shit. Like people were passing him. Did you not see when he knocked him out that he got on the cage and someone threw like a shoe and a hard seltzer?
Amazing.
I saw a bunch of people do that. I saw fucking Forrest Griffin do it. I saw people in the crowd do it. I saw that guy do it. I thought that was just like a new thing that's popular.
No, it's like I think it's like part of like Samoan culture.
It's
like
how we
Australian-
fight back against COVID protocol. We just go the other direction as hard as we possibly can. We're like, let's do as many unsanitary practices as we
It's
possibly
some
can.
meathead shit.
If you drank more than one time out of a shoe, you can't get COVID.
That guy's got all sorts of like shit going on.
For sure. You get athlete's foot in your throat.
So he was leaving the building, right? Like once he walked out of the cage, and apparently one dude gave him a shoey, like another shoe. So he was grabbing shoes like out of the stands, right?
Yes,
Left and right,
left
like
and right.
chugging shoes.
Yeah.
And this one dude gave him a shoe full of hot sauce,
No.
Wow.
and he started coughing and saying. And then in the post fight, he's like, "Someone fucking handed me a shoe full of hot sauce." He's like, "Whoever did that, fuck you."
I mean, you are
Got him.
drinking. First of all, you're drinking random beverages from fans, okay, and out of shoes.
Out of shoes,
Okay,
bro.
number two.
Like,
I mean, dude, you're putting a lot of trust in these people. Like, I mean,
bro,
it's,
can you imagine like how stanky that is? Like, fucking, probably people like gave him shoes that were like, I don't know, like really dirty ass shoes. Like,
Then you put the shoe back on? Because I mean, you can't just walk
yeah,
around.
you gotta. You can
I
probably
mean, what
sell
you
it on
gonna do?
eBay
Walk
for a
out,
pretty penny.
walk out without a shoe?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna fucking. Yeah, I mean, you're giving the guy a shoe. How are you gonna get it back?
I would have given him my shoe and fucking put some vodka.
You're gonna walk out baking bread in your fucking shoe.
One of my
Gross.
fights, my fucking cornerman forgot my shoes, and I had to walk out barefoot in like the fucking Philippines or some shit.
Really?
I was so pissed. Like I had won my fight, so like obviously I was excited about that, but I was so angry about the fact that like I handed my shoes to somebody and nobody fucking got the shoes, and they were just gone. Like, what did somebody throw them away? They weren't by the ring. Nobody fucking could figure out where they were. Like, I was so
Bro,
pissed.
your
Man.
corner man was like super excited and threw them like at the crowd.
Fucking A, man.
Like how like fighters throw like their towels and mouthpiece onto the crowd.
God, man. Fucking pricks.
Dude, talking about Joe Schilling, did you guys see when he knocked
Oh.
that dude out in the
Yes.
bar?
Yes, I did.
Whoa.
Yo, he two-pieced that kid quick.
Bro, he like no fucks given. Like he didn't even let him like get in a word.
Mhm.
Did you guys hear the backstory or no?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, the kid deserved it, but
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
there's,
I
there's
mean-
a certain, you get to a certain point, it's like, all right, as soon as this guy says anything, I'm fucking
I mean,
cracking.
you can also just see just me personally. My asshole meter went off within the first 1 second of that video
Like,
before
you
I
can
even
detect-
saw the
you
violence.
detected right away that guy was an asshole.
Yeah, before I even saw the violence, I'm like, oh, this person right here that's in this video is gonna either do something really stupid or they're gonna get their fucking face punched in, because it's just a total retard I'm looking at right now.
Two things. Look at that guy. That guy was a fucking dweeb. Second of all, how are you picking a fight with Joe Schilling? Even if you don't know who he is.
I mean, I don't think he.
He doesn't look like a regular fucking dude.
No,
He's a
no, definitely
Big,
not.
scary guy. Like, he's not
Yeah.
like a regular dude at all.
I'll tell you what though, Chris. I don't think most guys that act that way have gotten their ass beat.
Yes, correct.
You know, I think
Sure.
that some people like just watch UFCs or assholes get away with it for a certain time, a certain amount of time, and it's just a matter of time that someone like pieces them up and then they stop doing that.
Well, most rational people recognize. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say most people think they can fight. It's amazing to me because people you can't naturally. We're not good at fighting. Like you have to if you're not trained. Like,
Yeah, you got to practice.
Sure.
Yeah.
And in most rational people, whether they fight or not, I think recognize the implications of using violence against the person in public, and like how, like you would really have to do something. You'd really have to do something that I felt was disrupting the health of myself or people that I loved for me to be like, oh, I have to beat your ass now in public. Because the downsides of doing that, the risk of doing that is so high, it's probably going to be so much more trouble than it's worth. You know what I mean? Which is why I think Frankie, a lot of these assholes that probably deserve their beatdowns never get them. Because it's like the average person who's like a fucking normal thinking, rational human being is like, well,
I guess gets away with it.
it's going to be worse for me if I fucking attack this guy. So I'm just going to let it go and I'm going to keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know what? An asshole like that, sometimes they just get away with it, or they just don't know the consequences of being an asshole.
Sure. And then there's women that do that, where there's never any consequences because nobody wants to hit them, and then they're assholes to everybody all the time.
Well, it's 2021 and gender's not real, so.
Oh
That's
shit!
true,
So,
true.
dude, I saw a dude piecing up 2 chicks outside of a club, and then the comments were like, "Is that now allowed?"
Apparently, there's an epidemic of that in New York City right now, like on subways. Like women are
I
getting.
think it was in New York where the dude fucked up these 2 girls
Yep, it's not
outside a club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, like
Shit.
every time you see videos like that, the comments are always like, you know, I saw one where a bouncer was dragging a chick out of a club by her hair, right? And all the comments on the video, oh my God, you know, that guy's like a piece. I think in the video, everybody beat up this bouncer that was dragging the girl out of the club. Now, I have no idea what happened, no clue, but I do know that I don't know the whole story, which is probably more than what most people are doing. They're just reacting without even considering that there might be more to the story. I have friends that bounced who told me like, hey man, like one time I had to throw a chick out of the club, you know, so I had to use force. I either threw her out or like, you know, was dragging her out by her shirt or something. Some guys on the street saw me doing it, thinking that I'm like hurting this innocent, you know, quote unquote innocent girl. And, you know, when they went to go quote unquote help her, right, because they started to cause a confrontation with the guy who was the bouncer that threw her out, she picked up a glass bottle and sliced the dude's face in half.
Jesus.
You know? So people like, you know, they just assume it's another classic example in my opinion. Like there's always this conversation floating around like women, men, who gets, you know, better treatment, this, that, and the other thing. Like in our justice system, it's a documented fact that women get lesser sentences, and that translates through to our entire life. Like they're just held accountable for their actions less overall and assumed to be innocent in most situations, whether they are innocent or not. You know, it's always like, oh, the woman's the victim. Like she's a victim in that situation, as opposed to like, all right, let's hear out the situation. You know, if a bouncer threw out a dude from a club that you wouldn't be thinking anything, you know, we probably wouldn't be thinking anything of it. You wouldn't be like, oh man, I got to go rise to go save that guy. You know what I mean?
Hey guys, if you've been enjoying our content and want to help us out, hook us up with a review on iTunes and subscribe to our channels, YouTube and iTunes. Thanks.
What do you guys think of the fight card?
Of what?
The fight card. The fight card? The
fight
UFC fight card?
Yesterday? I mean the
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I only saw O'Malley and the main event, and also the.
How come?
I went to sleep, bro. I'm in training camp.
Did you happen to see the Ryan Hall fight or no?
Yes. And I have something to say to you.
Let's talk about the Ryan Hall fight for a second. Sorry, Frankie. We'll fill you in. Okay?
I saw it.
No, I didn't.
No, I know you did. Or not Frankie. Sorry, I meant Chris.
Okay.
Sorry, Chris. We'll fill you in. So, basically, if you could imagine somebody running towards someone.
Can you say that Frankie and me will fill you in?
Frankie and me will fill you in, Chris.
We're gonna fill you all up in.
All right. That's. I didn't. I'm so upset that I went along with that now.
Fag.
Basically, if you imagine someone running towards someone, putting their arm, and I'm doing this on video if anybody can see, putting their arm across their body, facing away from the person, so you're exposing your back, and then reaching around the outside of their leg and that was the only move Ryan Hall tried, with the exception of 2 spinning hook kicks for the entire fight. And I just,
Chris,
it
basically what you get the chicken heads doing to you at the clubs,
he-
where they
he
turn their
eventually-
booty over to you and then throw their back on and try to grab your ass. So
he
you can
eventually just got
therefore-
caught one of the times and started to get his face punched into the canvas. But here's the thing. I'm not even going to criticize the game plan. On the surface, it looks terrible, but I'm not even going to criticize it. I just want to know what it was. Like, I have a team of guys that are elite Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners. We all watched this fight together. Not a single one of us could come up with what he was going to do next after he got that grip. Like, I can't figure to this moment. I have no fucking clue. Like, I need to know. Like, I need to know what he was trying to do after that, because it just looked like it could only lead to terrible things. Like, I just want to know what his game plan was. What did he do in training with that he was so confident that he refused to try anything else but that one move?
You know what pissed me off even more?
What?
That they were talking about this dude being possibly one of the best grapplers in MMA. Where was Joe then? Talking about you, Gary.
Joe,
So he talks
everything
about
that
you on
happened
his
in that fight.
broadcast, but not on the UFC broadcast.
Joe tends to love jiu-jitsu to a fault, which I appreciate. It's great for our sport. But, like, sometimes somebody will get in there regardless of how good they are at MMA or jiu-jitsu or whatever the case may be, and he's just excited about it. And it was very clear with the Ryan fight, and, like, basically anything Ryan did, it sounded like he was ecstatic about it. He's like, yeah, but it works. It's like a thing he does, and it's like
something
it
new.
literally
It
didn't
gets the
work
people going.
at all the entire fight, you know. And I've seen it happen before with Joe. He has his favorites, you know. I remember that during the Frankie Edgar BJ Penn fight, Joe didn't say one thing about like how good Frankie was doing. Like, Frankie took BJ Penn down for the first time in like years, and like it wasn't even mentioned or even put in the highlights. And Joe's just talking about like occasional counter punches that BJ would hit throughout the fight. You know what I mean? So it was one of those moments where like Joe was just talking about Ryan the entire time
Well,
until he
you're
got
one of his
smashed.
favorites, Gary.
Yeah, but he's not in UFC, so he's like.
Yeah, that's why he hasn't. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Gary's in one.
I get shoved under the rug a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Joe doesn't
I
like
get
to, Joe doesn't like to talk about one championship much. He only brings it up when it
No.
comes to like the weight class. When it comes
Well,
to
he will in
fight.
his podcasts, but I don't think he's allowed to like once, or like he tries not to probably during UFC broadcasts.
His podcast either. He
Dude,
talks
talking about
that's about it.
the UFC broadcast. So I saw that Brendan Schaub now has the UFC fight companion. So now it's his.
Oh, like it's his show now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't get it.
So Joe doesn't do them anymore. I mean, I guess.
No, and this guy like,
Hmm.
I mean, I guess like Joe gave it to him.
You know what? That's probably because of the YouTube and because Joe's not on YouTube anymore. He's on Spotify.
So what?
So his YouTube rights. So it's not. First of all, he doesn't get as many views on Spotify. I mean, he still gets a crazy amount because he's Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
So UFC probably wanted to keep it on YouTube, and they gave it to Schaub. That's what I would assume.
I don't know.
Or maybe I'm talking on my ass. I just made that up.
No, it's like it's Brendan's podcast, but then the episode's called UFC Companion, right? So
Right.
it's Fighter and the Kid, UFC Companion. I don't know, dude.
Because Joe
I guess
doesn't.
like Joe like gifted him the UFC like companion show.
I think he did one
mean-
recently. I mean,
Bro, Joe's got so much money, he doesn't give a shit.
Joe's the man about in terms of that.
Yeah, and he likes like gifting friends stuff, and he doesn't care about money, not anymore, at least.
No, I think
Dude,
you're right. He does fight command. He does MMA show. It says. I'm looking at
He-
on. It
He
says
had like
MMA show.
Yeah, he had like 3 sold out events prior to this this fight card with Dave Chappelle. So it's crazy, like MGM Grand.
That's 2 fucking big heavy hitters right there.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy, like the biggest.
Did you guys see the backstage VIP room with the Black Beast?
I saw like it's just a video of him eating, right?
yeah, he's like Bieber, Megan Fox, like Machine Gun Kelly, Robert Kraft, like a whole bunch of like VIPs, like high like A plus celebrities, and then you see the black beast like fucking chowing down the buffet. He's like, I'm here for the chicken.
That would be me for sure. That's what I did at prom. I just fucking posted up, got as much food as I possibly could. I'm like, you guys are gonna charge me $80 for this bullshit? Fucking, I'm gonna eat my fucking $80.
Have you guys? Have you guys hit up the Vegas buffets?
Oh yeah.
Which ones?
Fucking, it's been a while, but I used to do. This is gonna sound super off kilter, but the Rio, which is a really shitty hotel, but they had a cool pool and they had a pretty good buffet. This is when I was.
Chris loves the low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
You went to that pool and fucking killed.
Yeah. Just
headshots. Sniped all the chicken heads.
All the young Midwestern girls who weird lizard tattoos and shit.
Weird lizard tattoos, he says.
Gary, have you done the Vegas buffets?
I've eaten out in Vegas. I don't know if I actually went to any of the buffets. I tend to be a little wary of certain. It's not like I don't go to buffets, but certain buffets I'm a little wary of. Stuff like that I'm a little wary of. I assume I'm gonna get food poisoning. I've had food poisoning at a few buffets.
Yeah.
Same.
Dude, the Wynn Hotel buffet.
The Wynn everything
is fucking amazing. Dude, I eat so much that I always have to puke afterwards. Always.
Always. He goes always, like 100%.
I won't go anymore. I won't go anymore because I can't control myself. Like, it's just so fucking good. Like, everything is so good.
That's fucking commitment. I applaud you.
It's everything. It's like fucking barbecue to fucking pasta to Asian food to like sushi, some fucking everything's good. Everything's amazing. So I can't help it.
When I was younger, I used to eat till I felt sick a lot more. And as I got older, I kind of was like, is it really worth, like, no matter how good this food is it really worth me just feeling like absolute shit? And I still eat a lot, don't get me wrong. It's just, even at like Brazilian barbecue, top quality meat, like, I'm not going to eat until I know I'm going to be sick. You know what I mean?
You know what's sadder than that?
Get rid of it.
You know what's sadder than that, Gary?
What's that?
Doing it at my age. That's sadder.
Because as you get older, it's a lot harder to recover.
Yeah. And then
do the same thing, Gary. I used to fucking eat my face off. I used to roll out of places. We would go to sushi buffets and literally they lost money every time me and my friends went in there.
For sure. And
I can't do that anymore. It's not worth it.
They're amazing.
Chris looks at the Japanese owner's eyes as he's eating the 60th piece of sushi.
I'm eating the rice too, motherfucker.
He's like, I'm eating everything, bitch. I'm getting my money's worth, motherfucker.
I'm putting you out of business. I did that a lot when I was younger.
Then they break out the special soy sauce that's got horse tranquilizers in it and fucking knocks them out at the table.
Super wasabi. Bring it on.
And then you end up with your eyes bloodshot red from puking for like 20 minutes. And then you look at yourself in the mirror and say, this is what has become of you.
I was coming from experience right there. That was deep. It was 2 months ago.
Looking at yourself. Who are you?
Dude, did you guys see McGregor talking shit to Poirier before?
All right. Dude. Oh, wait, before or after?
I saw
like from the floor.
Oh,
like
yeah.
with a busted ankle.
All right.
Like yelling shit at him.
This is the weirdest fucking shit, dude. Like, all right. Talking shit while you have your
broken
leg
ankle.
broken. No matter how the ankle break happens. I mean, in a real world where everybody is removed and nobody holds you back, like, I could kill you.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing you could do about it. You have a broken leg.
Yeah, I'm gonna step on your foot. Fuck you.
It seems so silly to continue to talk shit in a state like that. Like,
and then you know what's funny? That Joe Rogan sat next to him.
That had to be a first. That had to be a one time ever in the UFC where somebody had broken something in half and then still got
Joe has to sit down. That was awesome though. He's like yelling shit at him like your wife was in my DMs.
Fuck you, you hoe.
And then he was yelling, Dr. Stoppage. Dr. Stoppage. You didn't win. Yes. It was a Dr. Stoppage.
Yeah, we know, buddy.
Bro, you know what that shit reminded me of? You guys remember that Chappelle Show episode where Prince got his legs like fucked up? Like they
Oh,
punched
yeah.
the fuck out of his legs for saying like fuck your couch.
Was that
Yeah.
Prince?
Fuck,
Was
fuck
that
your couch. Fuck your couch.
Yes. Yes.
And then like
My
the
legs,
Murphy
Charlie
brothers
Murphy.
punched the fuck like they did like Charlie horses on his leg, and then he was like
Yes.
limping, like he was dragging himself from the floor,
Um,
and then he was yelling shit like I'm gonna fuck you up.
Frankie, you're really gonna draw the parallel to that, and you're not gonna draw the parallel to the fucking name of our podcast. You're just not gonna. You're not gonna see the parallel between it's just a flesh wound and the dude fucking
He's
stumping
got his-
around saying he's gonna bite your fucking ankles and shit. Come on, man. That's what our podcast is named after, man.
Dude, how fucked up is that he was saying all week that Poirier was gonna leave in the stretcher.
That is kind of hilarious. I didn't
Ouch.
realize that.
murder him?
Dude, how
Cool.
now let me ask this. Did you guys heard Poirier's like concern about like he's like, now I don't know exactly all the things, I'm not paying attention, all the things that Conor has been saying, but he seemed particularly concerned with the idea that Conor was saying, I'm going to murder you in the
It's like so
octagon.
stupid, right?
I don't really understand. Don't get me wrong. I understand. Like Conor says a ton of like offensive shit. Now, growing up on the East Coast, hearing somebody criticize saying you're gonna kill somebody as like a big no-no, like, dude, I've been saying that shit since I was like 6 to other
Right.
people. Like
Yeah.
that's like a totally normal
It's the same-
thing. We just, I'm gonna slit your throat. I'm gonna fucking kill. Like, it's just a
Bro,
totally normal thing. on
It's
the
not
East
even
Coast.
that graphic. It's not even that graphic. It's not like I'm gonna slit your throat or I'm gonna stab you in the heart. It's not even
Yeah.
like that. It's like I'm gonna murder you. It's like I'll fucking kill you. Like that's so common. It's so
Dude,
stupid.
I would take massive offense to that. Massive.
Really?
You
Really?
fucking-
I would fucking freak out.
so that
mean-
would offend you more than saying like your wife was in my DMs.
No, but I'm
So
That's
yeah.
kind of what I'm saying. That's what I'm
It's like
saying.
I don't
It's
care about him talking about my wife, but saying that he's gonna murder
The
me.
thing about his wife, he could just be like, "Listen, that's not true. Like, I know my wife is not in your fucking, you're not in his fucking DMs. Like, he's literally just doing that to get a rise out of me." But saying you're gonna kill me when you actually have the opportunity to, because I
No,
mean,
he doesn't.
it's not as common in MMA, but in boxing, people die all the fucking time. So
Bro,
like, if
there
some-
is
if a guy told me
not
he
one single person that has ever died in UFC.
Not in
Not
UFC.
yet.
There's been MMA fighters that have died though. Not
Yeah,
too many.
but it's like in
Very
rinky-dink
small.
shows that don't have like
very, very rare.
medical exams or some shit like that.
Most deaths are due to weight cuts. It's very
Yeah.
rare that they die
Yeah,
because of
right.
anything that happened in the ring. It's also a very young sport, so it's just not as many people doing it. Yeah, I guess my argument would just be that seems odd as the most offensive thing. That's all. I
Right.
just think
Me
the
too.
other stuff- I just think the other stuff's probably more offensive than that to me. Me, when I hear somebody say that they're going to murder me or kill me in the ring or cage or what, I mean, that would seem like a standard. Maybe it was the intensity of which it was said. I didn't really hear it, so I don't know. I don't know, man.
I wish I
Hard to
was one
say.
of the reporters when he said that. I would have had a follow-up question about that.
Yeah.
Like, you mean you want him to die? Do you want what do you want?
Like, do you really think that he wants to murder you inside the cage? Like, so is that what really offends you? What's that all about?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everybody is entitled to be upset about whatever they want to be upset about. It just doesn't make sense to me. That's all.
That's
Great
fine.
thing about it is you get to fucking punch a person in the face and it's a fight. So whatever
Yeah.
you say beforehand
You know,
gets,
you know what's fucked up though? McGregor wins here. You know why? Because Dana White said he's getting the rematch. So if Poirier wins the title, you do know that McGregor is the one that's going to challenge him immediately.
McGregor's not gonna be able to fight for another year.
Right, but it gives Poirier time to get the belt.
He could come back in 6 months. Anderson's
Yeah, I
came
think
back in
I'm
6
I'm with
months, I
Gary. 6 months, yeah.
Yeah, but Anderson was never good again.
think. That's
I
true.
think
I'm
age
just
is
saying
also.
he could
Bro,
come back.
he looked good throwing hands though.
Yeah, absolutely. But he was never good at kicking again, and that's a major weapon. That left leg is a really important weapon for McGregor.
Yeah.
I think he was just old, man.
Well,
I think Anderson was just old.
You guys have had these injuries: Anderson, Weidman, now McGregor. It was Tyrone Spong. He was the youngest of the group, but all of them were older guys. It's not a common injury for young guys.
Yeah. It's also interesting how much less it happens even in sports where leg kicking is more common.
Yeah.
So like it actually like it look at Frankie. Frankie's pouring himself wine in his fucking chalice. It's actually even less common, I think, in like Muay Thai, for example, where they're throwing hammers at each other's legs.
So what's going on there?
Like the MMA guys are part-time kickers.
Hmm? What do you say, Chris?
When you're an MMA fighter, you're a part-time kicker. You're not
not a full-time
all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think that what happened to McGregor was that he doesn't kick enough? Is that what?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that he threw that kick a lot. That leg a lot. Spins.
So what do you have to say about like Tyrone Spong, that only trains that type of shit? Like I'm sure that Tyrone is the type of dude that trains as much legs as he does like his hands. And
like I said, Tyrone was younger than these other guys who had this injury. Honestly, I think his was just a freak accident. It happens. It's not like.
I had also heard that there are certain steroids that people take that leach their bones, like the calcium from their bones, and that would be a potential problem and why this is happening more often.
Or you know what? If you have two bones going up against each other, and then obviously your knee bone is harder than your shin bone, that could also play like a role.
Well, sure, but
I saw that.
Go ahead.
I saw that Poirier was checking some of Conor's leg kicks. So I think that Conor's leg or shin was compromised before he pivoted. Yeah. And that's why broke.
I guess what I'm just saying is it's odd that it's like, so people still check a shit ton of kicks like in Muay Thai. Yeah. And with their knee against somebody's shin, you know what I'm saying? And it just doesn't seem to happen as frequently as it's happening in MMA, But I think that Chris is correct in saying that like there's less kicking overall, so that means that the legs are less conditioned for it, right? That's definitely part of the deal. I think another part of the deal being a part-time kicker is you probably set the kicks up not as well as, a Muay Thai guy might, 100%. And I also think that Muay Thai fighters are a little bit more aware when things are going awry. Like when they throw the kick, they can pull it back a little bit sooner. They're more experienced. They realize that the guy's going to check. They're able to pull it back. Just much more experience with that sort of thing. So,
yeah, McGregor, like a lot of these guys, he's just slinging. Like he's
slinging.
He's slinging that.
He was
leg.
Vicious.
Yeah.
He's like, everything I'm throwing is going to be kill shots. That's what he said.
Whenever I watch him kick, I'm always thinking like, because I've kicked people before. You don't kick like that because you can hit really hard things, hip bones, elbows, knees. Like I used to limp out of every kickboxing fight because of that. Bones are hard. Kicking them's not fun.
Zero fucks. So Gary,
yes.
How do you think you would fare with Ryan Hall?
Especially considering the events of this week, very, very well. I don't know what that sign was from Chris there.
Was he like farting?
Signal? I don't know if he might have waved away a fart. I don't know.
Yeah, he was waving away a fart. Like he farted and it was so nasty that he had to like remove himself from the chair.
Wasn't that the move from the guy Ryan Hall? He was like reaching behind him.
Yes.
When you said Ryan Hall, like I didn't see it, but that's kind of
because you got up like that and walked away. I was confused. Like if you would have stayed and sat back down, maybe I would have but you just walked away. So I'm like, man, maybe he farted. I don't know what the deal is.
Can you not see that he's now saving face? He fucking farted, bro.
Yeah, dude. I think
if I farted. We're on video. I don't have to hide it.
We can smell it via Wi-Fi.
Did you guys see it? Wait, what?
I was just gonna say about the Ryan Hall thing. Yeah, man. It's kind of like what I thought was gonna happen for a while. He had developed this strategy where he's throwing these long kicks and hoping that people are going to get a little bit closer to him so he can get his leg lock entries and stuff. But it's kind of like, it's a little bit of a one-off. Like he was doing it in a different way than he was the last fight. But it was kind of a matter of time before somebody just kind of prepared adequately for something like that and just was a little bit more intelligent about the way that they moved forward and eventually caught him,
So, Gary, do you think that actually works in practice for him?
It must have at some fucking point, right? Like and Ryan's not a stupid guy. Like Ryan's smart. Like if you talk to Ryan for any length of time, he's a pretty educated dude. Like he knows a lot about a lot of things. And I think he's I think he trains, in an educated way. I think like he's smart. He had to have come up with something that he thought was gold, man. He had to have done something that he was like, man, I'm getting this every fucking time in the training room and it's fucking people up. Otherwise, I can't see why he would never deviate from that plan.
I just watched it. I'm watching it right now. And like
you're watching it, okay?
Yeah, because I forgot who the guy was. Then as soon as I looked at saw his face, I know this guy. But yeah, that doesn't look like a very effective move.
It's weird. It's fucking really weird. But anyway, yeah, I definitely think I could beat him in an MMA fight. I said that before I even started doing MMA. I thought I could beat him in an MMA fight.
Gary, how's his jiu-jitsu, like pure jiu-jitsu?
His pure jiu-jitsu is good. It's probably not as good as it used to be because he's doing MMA now, so he's probably has much more focused training on MMA. You could argue that about myself, but I also think that some people approach the sport differently. It's hard to say because like the way that he competes in MMA, it's clear that he's planning on using some jiu-jitsu. So, he hasn't been competing at a high level. The other thing is like, let's forget about him doing MMA because like you said, that would cancel out, I'm obviously also doing it. Let's just talk about the fact that like he hasn't competed at a high level in a pretty reasonable amount of time. Like it's been many years since I've seen Ryan Hall compete, and I was active at the very least last year competing in jiu-jitsu. So, he probably hasn't competed for over 5 years, maybe more. So just that alone, I would assume that he's lost it a little bit,
So was he good before?
Yeah,
like,
he was.
How good?
He brought about a pretty strong triangle and a piece of the leg locking game. Like he was triangling a lot of guys in his early days. I think like up until like purple belt, he put out some DVDs and stuff about that. And then he started leg locking some people from 50-50, I think, towards the tail end. He got third place in ADCC, just like me. So as far as his era of jiu-jitsu, which was a very different era than mine, he did well. I don't know how he would match up against my era of jiu-jitsu though. Like my generation of jiu-jitsu is very different than his generation.
So let me ask you a question.
For his generation, he was good. For mine, I don't know.
Who are your top 5 grapplers in the UFC right now?
In the UFC, Gilbert Burns. I'm not.
Gilbert Burns being number 1.
Well, I don't know if this is in order. I'm just throwing it out there. Gilbert Burns, Damian Maia, Xavi Ramos. Yes. You're saying let me make sure that I'm understanding this question correctly. Do you mean when they go out and compete in pure grappling that they're the best, or you mean that they're able to use their grappling in the UFC?
No, pure grappling.
Oh, like pure grapplers. Yeah, then I would keep my list. Davi Ramos, Ryan Hall's probably up there. Who else?
Jacare?
Yeah, trouble with Jacare is he's from even a generation before Ryan Hall, kind of almost with his jiu-jitsu. But if we're talking about by era or by generation, then in theory, Jacare would be up there.
No, I was actually talking about currently,
current list.
Currently,
probably not. It seems like he's lost his jiu-jitsu a lot.
Yeah.
Who else is in the UFC right now that I may or may not be thinking of? I don't know. I'm at a loss for too many other guys.
Give me a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Little bastard.
Frankie saw his son peeking over his shoulder, and he was like, "Hey, you get back in your cage." Who let you out of your cage?
He shall get some lickings. I will beat his ass later.
Get out of here. I'll give you some wine.
Which one was the last one that you said? So I said 5, and then you said 4?
Mentioned. I think I put Ryan down there. I put.
That was number 4.
Dorino.
Okay. Yeah, that was
Maia.
Maya, Dorino, Ryan Hall, and then you're missing one.
Davi Ramos.
Davi Ramos.
Davi Ramos is, as far as current generation grapplers are concerned, probably I would rank Dorino number 1, then Davi Ramos 2, Damian Maia 3.
I'll give you
ahead.
2 good ones, and then I want you to tell me what you think of their like
Okay.
jiu-jitsu. I don't know if they've competed much outside of MMA, but I want you to tell me like what you think of their jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
And one of them is Brian Ortega is one of them.
Oh, you're talking about
And
Brian
then-
Ortega as far as his pure jiu-jitsu is concerned?
Yeah.
I don't think his pure jiu-jitsu is very good. I don't really have any frame of reference for that, though. I don't think Ryan Ortega's ever won anything in a pure jiu-jitsu context that's world class, to my knowledge. Maybe I'm wrong about that. So to me, I mean, he's used jiu-jitsu in the UFC, but so have tons of other people. And like, if they went into a pure jiu-jitsu match, they'd probably lose.
And Charles Oliveira.
Oliveira's been around a lot longer. I'm not familiar enough with what his accomplishments to know for sure, but if he did have jiu-jitsu accomplishments, they were from a previous generation of grappling. I mean, he seems like he uses grappling really well in MMA, more so than like a lot of other guys that are just kind of like, I throw a submission in there, here and there. Seems like he has pretty good control over his opponents that leads to submission. So,
I think he does.
I think he's great. It's just hard with some of these guys. They haven't competed in grappling for so long. It's hard for me to say pure grappling wise how they would do.
Gary, do you ever think of going to the UFC?
Yeah.
Do you ever think about it?
It's a possibility at some point in my future. Any organization is in MMA, man. Like, there's no way to put a definite stamp on exactly where you're going to end up in your future. You never have any idea what any of these guys are going to do. I mean, even guys that are currently fighting in the UFC, you know, a lot of people will make the argument, oh yeah, it's the best show in the world, this, that, and the other thing. And then, you know, guys will run into problems where the UFC is stringing them along, and they're like, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to fight for Bellator. Fuck these guys. I'm going to go make my money and still lead an exciting fight.
Generally, if you're like winning, you go to the UFC.
Generally. It's exactly the right word.
What case would you say right now of someone that's been winning a whole bunch? You know what? I'm going to tell you right now. MVP is one, but that's like the only case that I can think of.
Demetrius left after only losing one fight, and he was one of the most winning guys in the UFC.
I think the UFC kind of wanted to like.
But you see what I'm saying though. So like, what I'm telling you is I don't think it's ever possible to really know, to like put your finger on, oh yeah, like I'm gonna stay here forever. Or I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
you know, I have no idea. Right now,
but is this something that you think of?
Of course, it's always a possibility. So I have to.
I told you that you and me are gonna go talk to Dana at the PI, right? Remember that, right? Chris, don't worry about it.
You'll be in the office with me.
You can tag along, Chris.
I told you I'll text Dana. Like,
but listen, if we're in the meeting, Chris, let me tell you right now, you can't talk.
I'm not gonna be there.
No, you're gonna be in the back. It's all me. Listen, I got this. Right?
I'm not gonna be. I'll be out. I'll set up. I don't need to be.
Quick question. Let's throw this. I'm gonna throw this one out there. We'll see. I don't know how much input you guys are gonna give or not. I'm not gonna answer this question because he trains at Henzo's, so I'm not gonna put my input towards this. But I want to know what you guys think. You get called up to the UFC, okay? Ali approaches you. Do you or do you not allow him to be your manager?
Who are you talking to?
Ali.
How is he going to manage a manager? How is he going to manage a manager?
You're fighting. You're fighting in the UFC. I'm asking you to. If you were fighting, you just got called up to the UFC. Ali's like, man, I'm going to make you a fucking star. I want to be your manager. Do you do it or do you not?
It's going to take me another 6 months.
I want to hear your reasons why or why not.
It's going to take me another 6 months. I'm a little rusty, Gary.
What's that?
I'm a little rusty.
I don't know enough about his dealings, and I don't know.
Okay, all right, never mind. You guys aren't really into it then. Never mind. I wish I could contribute more, but
actually, Gary, you know what I would tell you?
A lot of people have a lot of strong.
I'll be honest.
Uh-huh.
I would say go for it. He's good. He's good.
He does manage like a lot of the guys.
He's good.
So it's like,
he's good. He's one of the best. He is.
But that's not always the best thing that you want, because we have the same thing in boxing. There used to be a couple of managers who like had all the top guys, and you're in the rung of this guy's group of guys, and it's
Sure.
you get stuck in the mix
The
there. as
issue
well.
that I could see there potentially arising, at least I'll elaborate on this part, is okay. Imagine, I think Khabib's done fighting, but imagine I get there and then eventually want to take a fight against somebody like Khabib or against somebody that's an upper tier guy, and he knows, like from experience, like this dude's a tough dude. My upper level guy who's making me a ton of money might lose to this guy. You know what I mean? Does he then not? Does he then tell Dana White like, oh yeah, bro, sorry, he's not interested in the fight, even though like I might be. You know what I mean? Like that's something that I would be worried about. If you're the guy that controls almost the entire roster of guys.
Yeah.
Well, now like whose best interest do you have? That's like.
Well, I'll give you an example though. He had Gaethje versus Khabib, and he repped both of them.
Yeah. And
so. Like, I don't think that was
what I'm asking you is whose best interest did he have? Like, did he negotiate a better contract for Gaethje, or did he negotiate a better contract?
I understand what you're saying.
See what I mean? There's probably gonna be a loser in that contract negotiation, more than likely.
Yeah, but I think that's when you're like at the real top, at the top.
This is why I asked you the question. I'm throwing it out there. I wanted to know what you guys thought.
Yeah, since right now I'm not at the top, I would go with
You're not there yet?
With Ali.
Gaethje, that lightweight division, is it lightweight? It's I confused the weight classes.
Middleweight. No, it's not middle. It's lightweight, yeah.
Definitely not middle.
We got Chandler. Well, we got
it's Gary's division.
No, it's not. That's not my division.
No,
You're not 150?
I'd be at 45 if I was in the UFC for sure.
Yeah, we're talking. So we've got Oliveira, right? He's the champ. Dustin just beat McGregor. McGregor's going to be out for a year at least. You've got Mikey Chandler, who just lost to Oliveira, who's a live guy. Is Katar in there too? Cater?
Yes, he's 55 for sure.
He's good.
Yeah, he's tough.
Who else is in there?
No, man. Cater just fought Max Holloway.
Oh wait, maybe he's 45 then.
He's 45.
Oh shit.
He's 45. You remember where Holloway was looking at the team, saying he's the best boxer and fucking evading the punches as he was looking away? That shit was sick. Did you not see that?
No.
Max Holloway was looking at the announcers, saying,
awesome.
I'm the best boxer in the UFC, and he was slipping Cater's punches as he was looking at the announcers.
He's a badass.
That shit was fucking sick.
Okay, so Gaethje, we're still talking about lightweight. Gaethje's in there too. Gaethje's a fucking badass.
Yeah.
He's in
What
150.
happens now? What happens now with Dustin and Oliveira and all these guys? What do you think?
No, Dustin is fighting Oliveira now for the title.
Oh, he is.
He is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Gaethje has already lost to Dustin, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Correct.
So I think what's going to happen is that Gaethje is going to fight Chandler.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because they both just
that's gonna be
lost.
that's a banger right there.
So Gaethje lost to Dustin and Chandler lost to Oliveira, so they're gonna fight it off, and then
Exactly.
That's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to be like the number one contender fighters.
That's gonna be
cool.
exciting. And then the winner defends against the winner of the other one. That's a nice little tournament.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be a good one. Did you guys see the Jake Paul chain?
Yes. Yeah.
Bro.
I just saw a tweet that he's gonna send it to Dustin.
That guy is like one of the best marketers around.
Or troll. He's the best troll.
He's the best. Yeah, he's the best troll. But he has viral shit.
Nowadays, that's how you do it.
Trolling makes you money.
Gary? Gary, did you see his chain?
No, I didn't.
So when McGregor got knocked out the second time, the second fight with Poirier,
Okay.
that he was like he had like his hand on his like chin, like he was sleeping.
Yes.
So Jake Paul had a chain made, like a diamond chain, of McGregor sleeping.
Yes.
And he had a bottle of NyQuil in his hand. And the chain is like Sleepy Time McGregor.
Nice.
So he went to the UFC wearing that chain.
That's funny.
It's fucking genius.
That's the kind of I will say this, if I ever have fuck you money, that's definitely the kind of shit that I would do. Just stupid shit.
$100,000. That's what it cost him. That's what he
Yeah.
says at least cost him.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gary, how's GSP doing?
It's good, man. You know, it's good training. It's good to get a chance to move around with him, man. It's like I said, like I never used to spar with him back in the day, so now that have that opportunity is pretty cool. Did
you learn some stuff from him?
Yeah. He showed me how to be a little bit more indirect with my jab work. George plays around with his hand positioning a little bit more than I do. I tend to just keep an upright hand when I'm throwing jabs, and he does a little bit of jabs from different directions, puts his hand by his hip sometimes, and also plays around with positioning his feet while he positions his head backwards. So what he'll do is he inches forward with his feet while his head's backwards. So you think he's out of range because his head's not close enough to you, and then he snaps forward as he inches the foot forward. So it's something that he taught me.
We call that fade.
Mm-hmm.
Fade in now, so you can move your feet forward and keep your head back, so it appears that you're not getting closer, yet you are.
Exactly, that was something that he went over with me. So that was cool. It was good little skill work, skill development. Trying to practice it a bunch.
Chris, how's your fight camp going?
Great.
So should I put money on you or what?
Yeah, of course.
Always. Bet the deed of your house on it.
Are you feeling good?
Yeah, I feel really good. Training's going great. I just got down to Florida. I'm gonna do a couple weeks down here, and then I'll finish up with the last 10 days up in New York.
Why?
Down here, it's just easier.
Why over there? No, why are you gonna finish up over there? Because the fight's there.
Yeah, the fight's there. So I usually like to do the last 10 to 14 days on location, wherever.
Okay.
Get used to the time zone, and also there's gonna be so much fight week. Is gonna be so much press and so much media stuff. So
who's your coach? Like, who's your cornerman coach that gives you the game plan? Like, who does your game plans?
I've always had Keith Trimble as my second. This fight I'm gonna have Derek Santos. He's the guy that we're kind of going over the game plan with, and then I've got Andre Brazier. My camp, like I don't get rid of people. My camp just grows. I'm just getting more and more, minds and eyes on things. But I've been with Keith. Keith has been in my corner for every single fight of my life. Keith Trimble. So, he's like Big Papa. Fighting another local New York guy, so it's gonna be a pretty serious crowd in there.
Oh yeah, that'll get fun for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the juice is going.
Guy who's been around forever.
What's the date on that?
August.
On the fight?
It's actually
August?
Tuesday night. It's gonna be Tuesday night fights. They're bringing back a series every other month at the Garden.
Really? On a Tuesday?
Yeah. On Tuesday.
What the fuck?
Tuesday night fights is actually something that's been going on. Like ESPN used to do that forever for
Bro,
years.
I was thinking of going over there, but if it's on a Tuesday, it's fucking bullshit, man. I can't fucking turn up on a Tuesday.
Coming from the Dominican Republic, and because it's on a Tuesday, you can't make it happen.
Bro,
aren't you guys stuck inside your house before fucking 5 p.m.? Like, what the fuck else can you even do right now in the Dominican Republic? Like, is anybody working? Like,
Harry, that's a sore subject. Don't bring that up.
It's not like 5 either, dude. You don't have like set hours. You're your own boss.
Oh, that's the other thing.
Right.
So Frankie, I never asked about this because we were talking about the conditions in the Dominican. What are your travel restrictions? Like, what do you guys have to do if you want to travel?
We just got to get a COVID test. That's it.
Okay.
Hey, man.
So you can go wherever the fuck you want, but you have to be indoors by 5 p.m.
What's
That's fucking insane.
Like,
you could go fly to China and come back, no problems, but you have to be inside your house by 6 p.m.
Well, right now they just moved it up. No, not today. Today's 6 p.m. and then you got free transit till 9. So it's like every business is closed by 6, and then you can travel. You can like move around in your car till 9 o'clock, but you have to be indoors by 9.
Is domestic violence through the roof there?
Man, I'm pretty sure it is.
Frankie's like, at my house it is.
I don't know about everywhere else, but it definitely is here.
Dude,
We've been seeing some scratches on Frankie's knuckles.
Takes another swig of wine.
Dude, I got a confession, guys. I've I've been drunk this whole podcast.
No.
And I have no pants on. Gary's like, what the fuck's going on right now?
Insanity.
Gary, you find any like good restaurants in Puerto Rico?
I just recently, it wasn't a good restaurant. I went to like a truck, like a food truck.
Like a food
But
truck?
I just recently tried a new type of Puerto Rican cuisine that I hadn't tried before called aguacate.
That's fucking. That's
Dude.
avocado.
Yeah, avocado.
Fucking yeah, but
Avocado
dude,
is avocado,
I
bro.
hear you. I hear you. It is avocado. I get it. Okay. But first of all, it's a giant fucking avocado, bigger than
Giant
any
thing.
avocado I've ever seen in my fucking entire
Fucking
life.
avocado steroids.
I've never seen an avocado that big in my life. The second thing is they like mix it in. There was like different shit, steak, rice, beans, all that kind of shit.
Okay.
So it's, I don't know. Maybe that's not how they always make it. Maybe aguacate just means avocado. I don't fucking know. But that's that
So
they
maybe
marketed
it
it as a meal involving avocado
Tell this
mixed.
guy that it should be called aguacate with a whole bunch of other shit in it.
Ah, okay.
That's
okay.
what it should be called.
So aguacate is just avocado. That's all. That means.
Aguacate is in Spanish
Yes.
avocado.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's not. It should be avocado with a whole bunch of shit with
Yeah,
steak and rice and
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, I don't know. It was fucking
So
delicious. Everything else I've had here has been. I would say that the number one thing is just
meat.
the steak, the skirt steak that they have. The fuck do they call it?
Churrasco.
Churrasco. Yeah, that's the
Oof.
only. That's the only thing
I had
else
some
that
of
I really
shit
like.
today.
Everybody raves about fucking. What do they call it? The plantains and
Plátano.
no. The special way.
Mofongo.
Mofongo. Yeah, everybody raves about mofongo. I'm just.
That's right.
It's okay.
It's tight.
It's
That's
okay.
right.
It's just like
drunk,
potatoes.
drunk
to me.
people food. When you're drunk, it's good, but other than that, it's
Yeah.
like.
I'd
whatever.
rather have sweet plantains personally.
Yeah,
Those-
that one's
Those are
better.
way better.
We got to do a world tour. Visit Chris. Visit Gary. Visit me.
When's our next trip?
Let's get through your fight camp, Chris, and then we can plan.
3 weeks, bro. I got all August, and I'm fighting again in October. So
Oh, nice.
What? Look at this guy, Mr. Active now.
I might try and
Huh?
get 3 fights in this year. I get August, October, and if something comes up in December,
Nice.
Shit.
my nickname is All the Checks. All the checks.
All that, the moolah. Did you guys like the videos that I sent you from the Eurocup?
Dude, that was brutal.
Yo, you were talking about drinking out of a shoe. How about drinking out of 3 men's assholes?
Dude, people criticize me online for drinking out of a fucking stripper's ass at one of Carol's parties, and then this dude's butt luging for like 3 dudes. Their fucking scrotum's out, their fucking hairy asshole. They're pouring beer down. This dude's underneath these fucking 3 dudes.
We're not
Dude,
gonna-
England is fucking next level, dude.
That's
What
just like in the
fucking
middle of the public
animals.
park.
Animals is right. Fucking animals.
Animals, dude.
Dude,
I
I
can
tell you,
see
those
why.
Those soccer hooligans are no joke.
Oh,
Look at Chris just posted the butt luge on
Dude.
camera.
this is gonna get
That
removed
is
from
just
YouTube.
fucking.
You're gonna get removed from
this-
YouTube. You're gonna have to blur
This
that out.
video is
Frank.
gonna get removed from YouTube because of Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Oh,
Fucking three-man butt luge.
why? Just why?
I'm at a barbecue and that pops up on my fucking phone, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ.
I gotta go home now.
Guys, I'm sorry.
Chris vomited in his mouth.
I'm sorry. I gotta go.
Oh shit. I think we
I
can
can
end
see
up-
why when Genghis Khan started fucking pushing west, he just gave up as he started to get
Gave up?
closer to like fucking those countries and continents. He's just like, yeah, fuck this
He's
shit.
like, fuck it. These guys can keep it.
They're disgusting. I don't want any part of this.
Fucking white.
Oh shit. Beautiful podcast.
Go take a shower.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go take a shower after that shit.
You know what? After that video, I've never been more proud to have had America separate from fucking England after watching that fucking video. Now I'm like, now Independence Day, the 4th of July will mean a whole different fucking thing for me.
Those guys
Like,
did
yeah,
not
I am a
deserve-
different race than these fucking people that butt luge.
I'm gonna set a note in my calendar to every year send you guys that video on 4th of July. So you
Yes.
guys, this is
Remember what we fought for. Remember what the founding fathers wanted to get away from.
This is what we got away from.
That's the real reason. That's the real reason we fucking broke apart and formed our own country, because they were fucking butt losing in the streets, and we were like, we can't be a part of this shit.
We're not gonna take
That was what the Boston Tea Party was really about. Like, no more teabagging. No more
in the
teabagging.
fabric of our society.
Well, all right, gentlemen.
All right.
I
Have a good night,
move
friends.
Bye.
for no
Bye-bye.
man. No man.